Hi guys, hello, meet everybody. It's MicheleMarieDalene. Let me finish up. We're here today together because where else are we going to be? Alright, so Michelle and I have some things to talk about. And most of it's good. Right, most of it is good. And let's talk about the good, and then we'll get to the not so good. On the national level, Donald Trump has helped to encourage Apple Computer to re-import its workers that make iPhones back into the United States. Apple itself is asking its two major mega manufacturers of their iPhones, both Foxconn and Pegatron, to look at re-immigrating manufacturing back into the United States. Foxconn had no problem beginning to comply with Apple's request. Pegatron said, nah, it's not worth it. It's not going to make any money. It's going to cost too much. So, does that mean the iPhone 7 and eventually the new iPhone 8 that will be coming out next year will be made here or over in China and Taiwan and other places? I don't know yet. Okay, but I think that's a good start for Apple. Ford has also did something similar procedure. They originally had planned to move almost all manufacturing for their trucks and small cars to Mexico. They were going to go ahead and phase out production in the plant in Ohio after they were going to start everything up at the New Mexican plant. Ford has decided, after working with Donald Trump directly, to keep production in the United States at the Ohio factory, which means 1,000 people will continue to have their jobs, which is a great thing. And I'm happy to say, thumbs up. Amen. 2 thumbs up. Okay. That means that possibly other companies may follow suit. And ironically enough, Ford says to bring jobs back into the United States is not going to help the economy. Oh boy, you are really wrong. Yes, it will. That's 1,000 people less receiving unemployment compensation. So that does help the economy. Even if it is maybe a small business or a small town or medium-sized town, it's still a major source of revenue coming in, which trickles down to the other town services that individuals use and buy every day, like groceries, and paying bills, and paying for the rents and their medical care and all that. So that does help the economy, because it's 1,000 people that will not be looking for a job added to the existing unemployment circumstances. Apple, same thing. Foxconn is successful at finding a place where they could set up shop in the United States. That community will be very happy to see the ability to make phones. Of course, Foxconn is saying is that a lot of people don't have the skills that the Foxconn workers have making such microelectronics. You know, you're right. I've seen a lot of the stuff that they make. You almost have to have that precision of a neurosurgeon to build it together. But I am sure that once you train the people and you determine who is the best qualified for the job, that factory will successfully make things here. It may take a little bit of training, but it will certainly be a boom for the American economies that will be affected because there'll be jobs coming in, again, just like with the case with Ford, to continue paying for the ancillary services that the individuals use, such as groceries and food and rent and electric and gas and everything that helps the economy. Those are two great sources of information I'm very happy about. What I'm not happy, well, actually, I got one more piece of good news. Yeah, okay, well, it's not major. I guess it counts for something. It does, yeah. The soup kitchen Thanksgiving was pretty quiet on Friday. We had it a week early because the staff wanted to take the week off. So the soup kitchen will be open Monday through Wednesday of this week. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday it will not be open. Saturday, if I am correct, I think this Saturday, which is already over anyway, I guess it doesn't count. It don't count. Okay, that they did have a holiday bazaar, which I didn't go to, but alright. So the good news is that the soup kitchen had a fairly good Thanksgiving dinner. It wasn't super congested or crowded. I didn't do my video there because I didn't know how many people were going to be sitting at the tables, and I didn't want to get my camera in the way of people who may actually be needing a place to sit. So I left the camera at home that day. Literally everything at home, just my purse and me, and that was it. I didn't bring any camera. I didn't bring any phone. I didn't bring anything. Okay? And I was bored out of my skull. We also, coming up in a couple days, we will be doing an unboxing as well of the T-Mobile Line Link device. It'll have a different phone number than the my cell phone. So that will be used probably for the call-in shows, and it will be open to anybody to use that. So when you call in to the call-in show, I'll be giving you that number, or that's because I have Google Voice on my iPhone, but unfortunately my phone is used for doing live streams, so I can't listen to the iPhone for phone calls at the same time. I could do that with my girlfriend's power Mac, iMac Intel Core 2 Duo, but it doesn't work for me right now. Let's take a look at messages on the phone here. My BlackBerry is working on Google Mail now. I am having a problem with the Contacts streaming server. For some reason, it starts out working fine, and then some reason to the BlackBerry information service, and then it dies out occasionally. That's what I'm saying. It's kind of funny because sometimes the system, the BlackBerry software, says it can't sync the contacts, and sometimes it doesn't have a problem. Right now, it's not having a problem. And the weather forecast today was the last, for the immediate time being, warm days. I keep saying it's the last, and then I keep getting very sadly mistaken right now here in southern New England. Right now it is 9 degrees Celsius. It is mostly cloudy. It feels like 7 degrees Celsius. Wind is south at 16 kilometers per hour. Humidity is 80%. Dew point is 7 degrees Celsius. And as I look at the 10-day forecast here, I do see some potential snowflakes for us here in Connecticut. It's changed a little bit from the original forecast. But what has not changed is it is the 19th. It said that there's a lower temperature of 1 degree Celsius and shows mixed rain and snowflakes. 100% chance of precipitation. 40% chance of precipitation on Sunday, November 20th. A high of 5 and a low of -2. And now you're probably asking me is, are we going to see any significant snowfall in the next few days? I don't see any significant snowfall icons. I just see the mixed precipitation icon. So yes, I think we're going to have some mixed precip, but I don't think we're going to have anything really serious yet. Right, yet. Okay. So now that I want to point out, now I got this programmed with both my Google Mail and my Yahoo Mail. It's really nice because now I can access the mail from both sites simultaneously. Okay, and of course my iPhone has the same email sites. So On Thursday, I left a message. Wednesday, I explained to you that I am going to be working on my weight. And I do want to do that and make some positive changes. Was that my cat? No. Oh, okay. Anyway, I'm going to be making some positive changes and trying to do better on stress management. And I think that the stress and stress eating that has added to my downfall. I don't think it was for any other reason than that. Okay? Oh, yeah. I want to try to be more active, too. That definitely helped a lot. I think for everybody, if I'm doing more things than somebody sitting around and doing nothing every day. Now that with the nice sneakers I got, my feet are not hurting as much, to providing good support, and I'm doing pretty good. Now, one of the things I can tell you is that there's got some bad news to cover too. One of the things that I noticed is that the protesters in this country are getting way out of control. There is an unconfirmed story that a young girl's father ended up having to go to the hospital because of a medical emergency. The Trump protesters blocked the ambulance from getting the man to the hospital. He died in the ambulance because the Trump protesters were blocking the road, and the ambulance could not get through to the hospital. It's so stupid. It's an emergency medical vehicle. I don't give a shit what you think. Let the vehicle, in this case an ambulance, get to where it has to go. Okay? Likewise, the same thing with police and fire vehicles. Let them get to their needed places. Do not sit there and try to prevent them from doing their work. That is really asinine of you. Okay? If you don't like Donald Trump, as one magistrate said in Texas, he said, "Get the hell out of here." And I agree with him. Especially if you're applying for American citizenship. If you don't like it, don't come here. You know what we ought to offer a program? What? Anybody who doesn't like what the current administration is doing, the United States Office of Naturalization and Immigration should go, fine, here. We will basically fast-track your paperwork to whatever consulate you choose. So if you want to go to the UK, here. We'll send all your paperwork to the UK. You can go ahead, get your visa, and get the hell out of here. Okay? Period. Voluntary deportation. I like that. Right, exactly. If the other country doesn't want to take you, well, that's not our problem. All right? That's something I agree with. Another thing I agree with, too, is what's going on in the UK about Buckingham Palace. Most people don't, and the Americans don't really keep up with the UK news. I keep up with the UK news as well as American news. Buckingham Palace is pretty old, and it needs repairs. Things such as mechanical system. The boilers are 33 years old. I don't know if that's much of a big deal, but obviously there's over 100 miles of electrical cabling. And there is, of course, there's lead and cast iron pipes. I suppose that's mostly for the sewage lines, but they probably do got, of course, cast iron for the water lines as well, that are seriously in need of replacement. It's going to cost about, it's a 770 plus room building. Wow. Yeah. Okay. And Theresa May was asked to ask the House of Commons and the House of Lords to authorize the payment for such renovation work. The people in the UK filed a 62,000 name petition. I think they're still taking names, saying no. The Queen's already got enough money coming in. She has an unestimatable amount of wealth. What she should do is, just like everybody else, take whatever money she gets, save it up, and finance the repair on her own behalf. I agree with that. That makes sense. But however, it's the same thing as with the White House. The White House has been renovated several times in the 50s and 60s. Would that be wrong to say if the White House, if it needed to be renovated again, to say, well, gee, the American people should pay for it? Well, that's officially always been the people's house in the beginning. So yeah, the White House is a little different than the Buckingham Palace, but still, it's not like it's the same thing. The Queen herself is paid a salary for living there. She's not really she's a leader of the country, but she's not a leader of the country, if you will. Because of the Magna Carta, there's absolutely, she has no authority really whatsoever of any significance. So unlike the President of the United States, which kind of has got a lot more authority than the Queen does. But still, trying to make the people of the UK paying something like £326 million renovation job sounds like a hell of a snow job to the people of England who have suffered under austerity and under some really harsh economic situations and what's going on with the National Health Service. This is, I think that the Queen herself certainly probably could easily go to a bank and go ahead and get a large loan for that purpose. She gets something like how much a month? She gets something like, I think she gets something like, I don't remember what she gets on the monthly salary. She gets something, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's a lot better than me. Oh yeah, definitely a lot better than you. I think it's something like £50,000 or something like that. Now, come on. You mean to tell me at a £50,000 income, you can't go ahead and get in contact with a local licensed contractor and make arrangements to start work, and just like everybody else with a building renovation project would do, and slowly work out the financing and stuff like that? I think the Queen can afford to do that. But trying to tell the people of the UK to have to pay for it when the country is still facing austerity and hardships is a little bit over the top. And the same thing here in the United States. If, Barack Obama came to us and said, the White House, before I leave, is going to need to be renovated. We're going to need new wiring, a new boiler in the cellar, new plumbing, new everything else. Repair is going to cost you about $500 million US. Pay now. I would say, and I think Donald Trump would say to that, is Mr. Barack Obama, no. We are going to fix what we can right now, but we are not going to go ahead and go hog wild on renovation work because the United States certainly is not going to have the kind of money to pay off a lot of these government contractors. So if we're going to hire contractors, there's going to be everyday companies that work with everyday people. No special seal bids, no special government contracts. Just like if I want to renovate my home, I'm going to go ahead and get a couple bids from a couple contractors, a couple estimates, and work my way up that way. So I guess right now it's kind of a mixed bag. I mean, first of all, like I said, Donald Trump is making some positive differences as far as the United States. You certainly see a lot of positive changes already, and he hasn't even been inaugurated yet. Okay, we are seeing some positive changes, and he hasn't even yet been inaugurated in office. Now, I wonder if he is going to try to call Carrier Air Conditioning and try to ask them to return to Indiana. I would say that Carrier would be smart to redo that. and rebuild their reputation with the people of Indiana. Yeah. Anyway, this white stuff on my top here is actually is yogurt. Yeah, Michelle eats a lot of yogurt. Once she can't get it, I can get it. Yeah, it can get really expensive. So how, now that we got to do phone line from T-Mobile, we're going to be coming here through the line link device. That will be delivered here in the next few days. Actually, Monday. How is that going to affect the operations here of the North American Snow Queen Palace? Well, first of all, the North American Snow Queen Palace is, for all intents and purposes, is constantly going to be working on new changes. We're going to be adding new things to the service as we go, and that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be, making things better. But like I said before, so we need some volunteers, and we're going to be looking for volunteers to help us with our presentations and making our videos a little bit better and more deluxe and awesome. So, if you still want to have a chance to show me what you can do, your abilities, and you still would like to do something more than sitting around doing nothing, this might be a great way for you to get out and help me so I can help you by giving us both something to do. And of course, we can find people who are fairly knowledgeable of how to promote our site. We could certainly go to the next level of success and promote our site very nicely. Yeah, very nicely indeed. Mm-hmm. So, I got it. Okay. Yeah. Now, Michelle has also got to get some more eye drops this coming month. Yes, I have to get another box at least. Okay, so we're going to have to put some of my PayPal credit towards that and the payment on the bill, and then we'll get some more cancer eye drops. It does work. I'm not saying it's great. I'm not saying my eyes are 20/20 and it never will be 20/20. Sorry. But it helps with the morning glories, and it does help with making it easier to see a little bit better. So, it's important. It also makes me feel better, too. I'm doing something about my situation. But my weight is, I gotta be honest, my weight is going to be a really hard sell to fix my weight, because it didn't take too long for my weight to explode within a year, but that was under a lot of stress. I'm still going to be dealing with a lot of financial stress and a lot of financial worries in the next few months. But, hey, we'll work it out. I promise you, we'll work it out. Now, we also want to talk about a little critique The Apprentice. What I've seen so far from the first season of The American and the first season of the British Apprentice. I'm watching both at the same time. So let's talk about how I think about each one so far. We're talking about season 1 of both. Okay? I watched season 1 of the American show first. So, and then of course I started watching the English, the British one from the UK. Second of all. So, here's the similarities and here's the difference. The similarities. You got the same number of contestants at the beginning. 7 men, 7 women. Okay. They're working for, not a billionaire in this case, but a multimillionaire. And the multimillionaire, like Donald Trump, had his start... not so much as of course, unlike Donald Trump, he's not so much a start in construction, but rather in other fields. But the main difference in the program is the presentation. The American presentation, there is no commentator. really. The Donald Trump tries to do a lot of the commentary himself, but unfortunately, when you seeing the people sitting in their suite in Trump Tower and trying to explain what's going on, there's really nobody explaining it. So you're just seeing all these people, huddling together and trying to come up with their plans. Whereas the British one, the commentator would explain, for example, what they're seeing ahead of time so that the audience, especially if you're legally blind or blind, at least can hear the commentary and know that what they're seeing all those people doing. That they know that they're working, like in the first episode is trying to decide on a company name. The men came up with a name. The woman came up with a name. The woman's name they came up with. I don't know. I think it was First Forte, something like that. First Forte. I forgot who the men came up with. But in the first episode of the UK Apprentice, they're going to be selling flowers, whereas in the first episode of the American Apprentice, they were selling ice cream. Okay, so there's a similarity here. I think the flowers in some ways were a little bit better. Well, it's funny. Flower girls didn't really have a lot of support. They're pretty poor. Yeah, it's a pretty poor job, right? It's hard on your feet. You're trying to sell flowers to people and, trying to make a little bit of a meager income, but enough to pay for the flowers that you're buying, but also enough that you can bring home something to pay your family. Victorian era, if you watch My Fair Lady with Eliza, you know this, that it's a really tough thing. So I think the girls, unfortunately, so far I can see from the show, seem to be having a problem coming up with a consistent strategy, whereas the men kind of figured it out from the very beginning what they wanted to do, and they seem to have it all together. But no, both the American and the Apprentice and the British Apprentice seem to have the same issue, which is that these are not, obviously, just people coming off the street going to work for their respective person on the program. Donald Trump, for example, I don't know how he would feel about me being an apprentice on his, if they ever had the White House Apprentice or whatever. I don't know how I would do. I mean, I'd be very excited if he actually said to me, Michelle, I want to make you one of the first contestants on the White House Apprentice. I'd be like, oh, okay. What kind of skills you got? None. Perfect. That would be really kind of interesting, but I'm sure Donald Trump himself, though, would probably want somebody at least that can say is that they have some skills that he could check out on. For example, working in a business, or to say he had no skills, that would be totally false. Michelle does have skills. The problem is most of them is not from the corporate environment. Right, exactly. So, but as far as working as a team, I don't think Michelle really is a team player. She's more of a solitary. She tends to likes to work with a very small group of people and doesn't really like working with a huge group. She kind of likes to do things her own way, but sometimes she will negotiate based on a better working arrangement. Mm-hmm. Speaking of arrangements, don't forget that we also have, Donald Trump himself is pointing members of his cabinet transition team that some people are not exactly too thrilled about. For example, this Bannon guy. I don't know anything about the guy, so I'm not going to say anything good or bad about him. Just know that obviously Donald Trump thought highly of him and put him on the team. He's trying to find men and women, both, that have the qualifications that he's looking for, including not being a former lobbyist or being an active lobbyist at the current time. He's been very clear about that lobbyists are what have created a good portion of the problem in Washington D.C. And so we need to turn that around. And he's right that the lobbies are a good part of the problem. So heads up. Now, another thing I don't have right here, it's in the refrigerator, but I did buy some. I mentioned, I saw a couple of videos of people drinking Moxie on TV. Moxie is a soda. I love this soda. I love it a lot. I mean, if push came to shove, I'll be honest, I'd guzzle it down like there's nothing. It's just my favorite stuff. I gave some to Dory because she hates diet soda. I said, okay, we'll try this. She says, is this soda? Is this cola? I said, no, it's more like a root beer. So she had a sip of it. She's like, ugh, I don't like this. It's too strong. And it's like, oh, I love this stuff. Glug, glug, glug. Michelle loves this stuff. Yeah, but she said about the diet Moxie for you. Well, I still can't. You still can't. But I might go down. Maybe tomorrow I might just go downtown and buy some, or maybe I might do a combined trip to the soup kitchen on Monday afternoon. After we got to wait for our package first, because I don't want to leave that loose at the laying around at the soup kitchen, because I think that would be a bad choice. Right. So, don't forget too is that we are going to see a lot of new things going on here, and don't forget, of course, this Christmas is going to be coming up in about a month. T-Mobile is up to something for the Magenta Fridays, which is for this week. We'll start Friday of this week, and then, of course, next Friday, is to have a deal where you can go so you can get 2 lines free or something like that. Yeah, I think something like that. But with the T-Mobile One plan, I think it is. I don't know, is it T-Mobile One? I don't know if it's T-Mobile One or not. I know it's, something. That coffee is strong. It is, isn't it? How come you don't seem to complain about the taste? Because I'm used to drinking it. Okay. See, don't forget, me and Lemmy are connected to the same taste buds and everything, and we do the same things together, but unfortunately we both don't see the world the same way. And so sometimes I might think something's too weak, or something she might think is too strong, or if I think something's not sweet, she might think it's too sweet, or whatever. We do have to sometimes kind of come to a conclusion. I mean, what do you think of Moxie? I kind of liked it. I drank it. I had some in Michelle, and of course Michelle loves her Moxie, and she'll guzzle it down like there's no tomorrow. The price of the 1 liters came down. It came down to $1.29, so it was a little cheaper now. It's still really high. I mean, you can get 2 liters of Cumberland Farms Cola for the price of 1 bottle of Moxie. Yes. Little, not quite, but pretty close. Okay. But I just like Moxie. So I don't buy it on a regular basis. I do buy it, but it's just not a regular thing. Now, you mentioned on one of the videos at the studio, or in the soup kitchen, about the microphone cable, the one that you fixed up. Could you explain more precisely about the situation with the cable? It's not really much to explain. It's just they wired the shield onto pin 3, and then they wired the hot onto pin 2 and the cold on the pin 1. And which means that in one sense, yeah, you might say, well, gee, isn't that good for like things where maybe you might want to use standard unbalanced microphones? Yeah, but when you introduce a wire that long with that much interference, that makes it kind of a colossal waste. Okay? I like my cords to be of quality. I like a good wiring job because it matters, especially on my soup kitchen. And to assess how well it was shielded, I put my BlackBerry Bold 9900 on top of the coil of wire, which I didn't realize was a hell of a test. If you ever know anything about GSM cell phones, you know that you get that audible jabber, if it's too close to the audio pickup, right? Well, if I had done the same thing with the way the wire was wired, I got a feeling you would have heard my phone jabbering in your ear the whole time. And it didn't. So that proved to me with the fact that was probably the best test I ever did. It wasn't even intentional. To demonstrate is how well it makes a difference to have the cable properly shielded in the first place to make sure that the audio is so if you want to have some 600 ohm unbalanced, say for example you mic input on a sound card using an SM57, yeah, you do have to wire it like that cable showed you, okay? But even then, I don't know if it would be really a great deal. I don't, it's up to you, I guess. It's me. I just didn't want to go there. So, sorry if it doesn't make any sense. It makes sense. I know it does, but it's, it's technical, and I'd have to show demos and diagrams and things like that, but I don't think I need to go there because I don't think you really care. I don't think a good portion of my audience really cares about that much, about this technical stuff. Because I've been looking at the vlogs, and one of the things, the viewership, is I've seen, especially after my coverage of the elections with Donald Trump, my viewership then was dropping off. People were absolutely, positively not excited to hear about what's going on with the election. I think people at the time were getting kind of burnt out over the election situation. And you know what? You're right. It was very burning out. It was emotionally draining. It was like, how do I describe it? Sucked. Okay, I'll take that as the answer. It certainly did suck. And the American people just didn't want to go through watching that anymore. They just wanted to get their lives back together and get back to doing the things that they loved, and that's what they were doing. So for watching me sitting there telling you what was going on with Donald Trump and all that kind of sucked, and I just, what are you looking at? I'm just trying to see that the camera's level. It's level. Remember, the floor is at an angle. I know that. And that confuses me. My apartment is like any old house. Definitely is an abstract piece of art. If you realize there's really no straight angles in this whole place. Even when you think of pretty much right angles are not really quite right angles. That's not at all uncommon for old buildings. This building, for example, was also suffered in the 1955 flood. This building had suffered a lot of issues then too. Surprising it's still standing after all those since 1955, but it's still here. It's almost 60 years. So really, 61 years. 61 years. Wow. Now, so we're going to be seeing some new changes. We're still going to have we're going to start trying to do a call-in show. And I'm still looking for volunteers to help with video, audio, and creativity for artwork and graphics. So if you're interested, you still get your chance, of course, to send your fee. Don't forget, I still have the same offer I promised you before, the iRig Pre $20 monthly donation. I will send it out to the first person who sends a $20 monthly donation on Patreon. And of course, GoFundMe. I just renewed my GoFundMe page. So if you're interested in that, I'll make it open to both. So $20 monthly to Patreon or $20 monthly to GoFundMe. The first one, and I mean literally in that case, because that means I have to look at date stamps on actual who posts first, will get the second or the other iRig Pre. And as I said, right now it works, but clearly you might want to do some board level cleanups on it and make it a little bit better than it is, because it's really far from exemplary. That's all I can tell you at this point. Oh, this coffee is nasty. Oh, give me a break. Okay. It's actually pretty good. Okay. Now, I'm going to go back and finish watching some more of the UK Apprentice, but I wanted to at least let you know that from what I've seen from watching Donald Trump in his 10th season, which represented the year 2010, he explained that in season 10, what happened with the Lehman Brothers and stuff like that, and how it almost put the United States into a Great Depression. And even at that time, he says, I'm going to do something about it. If anything, I think that's a prequel or precursor to what he's doing with right now in this year's election. Was he wanted to do something about what was going on and to make it right. And I hope he does well. I really do. He seems to have a very good heart. He seems to have a good spirit. And he's a very strong, emotional character. He's a very strong personality. He's one of those kind of like Moxie Soda. You either like it or you hate it. Michelle likes it. Michelle likes it. Me, not so much. Not so much. Okay. But still, as far as the Democrats go, look, I know you don't necessarily, the Trump protesters, you don't like Donald Trump. You're holding up signs saying he's not my president, whatever. But if an ambulance is coming through your barricades, let it through. Same thing with fire and police truck vehicles. Let them through. Trying to prevent them from doing their job is putting lives at risk. And that is not cool. Alright? I don't care if you like it or not. Okay? 4-year-old girl lost her father because you blocked the ambulance from getting to the hospital. That's absolutely positively over what I call the level of decency. I think it's disgusting. And so for now, I'm not going to really do anything tomorrow, which is Sunday, but we are going to, of course, be doing a couple of videos on Monday. One of the first things is number one, the package is supposed to be here Monday, and then we'll do an unboxing and setup. I will probably use my iPhone because I could bring it into the wiring closet and plug in the cords and all that. And in the case of the other things that are going on, we're going to do everything we can to make it right. With this phone here. You guys should know Labor Maker you haven't used yet. That's right. Okay. So, yeah, we could relabel these little things and put little stickies on here. I don't want to put stickies on my phone. I gotta get some more of these dicey strips. These things are not cheap. so I can go ahead and properly label these phones. Because this one's got program with intercom lines and things on it, all kinds of extra features. And Michelle's got to get more clothes sometime. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. All right. And that's another issue. But I'm going to take care of the issues one by one. And try to figure out what we're going to do with things at hand. I can't do everything all at once, but I will be looking at these things one by one. And don't forget, of course, if you can make a donation, even if you don't want to, I'll tell you what, I'll make a deal. If you just want to make a donation, a monthly donation, and it's not $20, let's say you only want to send $5, that's fine. I'll take that. You want to send a donation for more than 100, 200, 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever, that would be excellent. Thank you very much if you do that. And, of course, if you do make a donation of $20 and you don't want the iReg Pre, please tell me that in a message, all right? And I'll give it to the next eligible candidate. So if you don't want the iReg Pre, but you want to make a donation of $20, just tell me in a message, and I will send it on to the next person. If you're not sure if you're the first, doesn't matter. Just go ahead, send me a message. And if you are not the first, then of course everybody's no big deal. If you are the first, I will send it on to whoever else is the next contestant that sends me $20 monthly through Patreon or GoFundMe. And eventually, hopefully, we hope to plan to maybe have other contests in the future. I'm not so much into the contest stuff, so I may not be that good at it, but we'll try. Let me ask you about this phone. This is the BlackBerry Bold. This is Michelle's other phone. It's a little fingerprinty. Yes, it is. Okay. What do you like about this phone versus the iPhone? You never really did explain it to me. And I'm sure your audience may wonder the same thing. Well, there's one thing right there. You can see the blinky light that says I have messages waiting for me. And also has, just like the iPhone, it has a lock on it. You can unlock or lock the phone. The service books, they're pre-configured in it. Actually, the Liberty keeps the key locked, which is fine. I don't mind. But what I like is that, just like on my phone, is you got your messages on the bottom here. I'm looking at these funny thing here about the contact synchronization. I don't want to go into detail on that, but just to say, as it says, is that they can't transfer contacts. That is actually not at all clear because it seems to be very inconsistent because it does work and also has the ability to do Wi-Fi calling, which is a feature that some of the newer Android phones have as well. And that works out pretty cool because the BlackBerry had it first from T-Mobile, which makes my life a lot easier. On some phones it's called UMA. Unlicensed mobile access using Wi-Fi technology. This is not an LTE phone. This is just a 2G, 3G, 4G handset. And when T-Mobile reconfigured their towers to make it compatible for the AT&T phones, this became from a 3G, 4G to a 2G phone. But it's still one of my favorites. I like the keyboard on it. She does. She likes the keyboard. I like the keyboard. I like the fact that I have an aftermarket battery, extended runtime battery in here, and this also syncs up very nicely with my Mac, which the iPhone used to do beautifully, but then when iOS 7 came out, the feature to sync it with my Mac disappeared, and unfortunately, I have not been able to find a way to downgrade my iPhone without jailbreaking it and potentially breaking it, I would definitely want to remind you that if you have an Apple iPhone and it's a 4S and you got the newer 7 plus, I say plus because now up to 9, 10 updates, that once you go beyond 6.15 or 6.13, you can no longer pair it with your iTunes on your older PowerPC Mac. So that kind of really was a major loss to me. I can still pair with iPhoto, but my girl Dory's phone could pair with my iPhoto. But when she added certain folders to her system, it got my Mac kind of a little bit upset about it. But for the most part, it pairs fine. Even with the newer phones with the Lightning connectors, you just don't activate all those crazy photo shares and things like that, and it works fine. In it, but I don't know about the high definition video part, because I mean now we're up to 4K video now. I don't know if my iTunes would be able to easily import those kind of videos into it. iPhoto, iPhone and not iTunes. But like I said, I miss iTunes Sync. I really do. I really rather be able to sync my iPhone 4S with my iTunes, because that's where I used to keep all my backups, all my software. I would bring my phone in, I'd plug it into my computer, and I'd go ahead and sync my Mac with my iTunes. And made my Mac happy, made me happy, because I could easily keep things backed up. But now with the changes, I can't do that with my iPhone anymore. I can use iCloud, but that's really kind of, sucky. So, does that make any sense? Yeah, makes sense. I think it does anyway. Of course, now with the BlackBerry software, you also sync your phone with iTunes, and you also gives you ability to store things right onto both the phone's memory and an SD card. So that's another plus, is that you can do that. You can add things, you can take things away, you can clear out your phone memory, you can things like that. Yeah. And that's another thing that I think is a great godsend, is that reason. Now we also have iPhone, so many other things going on here with the computers and stuff, but that's pretty much it. Eventually I hope to learn how to use what they call Amanda to back up my Mac and my Linux machine using Amanda instead of Retrospect. I haven't really sat down to really read the instruction book yet. It's not as polished or a single book that explains it. It's a whole bunch of how-to files, and it takes a lot longer to read through all those files, and it's confusing and just not, really that cool. So, yeah. And, yeah, it is a little strong, but it's not bad. But anyway, so I want to hear more from you, and if you definitely have something to contribute, please do not be afraid to send me an email message, or contact me on Google Plus, or contact me on Google Plus, or for those of you who know I'm on Facebook, you can try reaching me on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. You can certainly reach me there too. Although ideally, if you I really would rather use Google Plus if you're going to comment with me, because it keeps you consistent, so I don't have to go crazy chasing down a million different social sites. I could just watch one or two, because you also have the YouTube comments also. It makes it a lot easier, and something to think about. But if you, for some reason, you're not on Google Plus, you really want to reach me, yeah, you can send a message on Facebook and on Twitter and on Tumblr. I will get to it. I don't really get a lot of messages on Tumblr, but I'll try, okay, to keep you in contact with you. So for now, I'm going to let you go. And I want you guys to have a nice night. Enjoy your weekend. I'll see you on Monday. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everybody.